Wreck My Podcast!
Last episode, we watched a movie from the 80s about a dystopian future with a wide separation of the classes. This episode, we watch a 90s movie with a dystopian future with a wide separation of the classes, but it's wrapped in a utopian facade. And it has Sylvester Stallone cosplaying as Guile from Street Fighter. This is The Demolition Man, and this is Wreck My 90s. Podcast. Be well, fellow listeners. We're here today to talk about Demolition Man. Yeah, that's a movie that's out there. I'm here with my guests. All of his debt is from violating the verbal morality statute. It's Cam.
You bet your ass.
He only uses 2 seashells when he goes to the bathroom. It's Joe.
I can never understand what that third one is for.
I know that was a fun. I like that joke.
It was a good running gag.
They never said how to work the 3 seashells.
Well, I'll tell you something in a second. And I am your host. I love chilling naked in an ice cube. I am Jordan. We're here. No Krager this week because he is
giving up
somewhere
on the podcast.
Yeah, seriously. He has a lot more priorities in the podcast, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But okay, so the seashell question.
Yeah.
I read a thing where the writer specifically said that 2 of the seashells are meant to go in and scoop out any excess excrement from your butthole, and then the third seashell is to wipe what's left.
That's
how it's supposed to
2
work.
seashels for the
2
first part?
seashells is like a claw to pull out anything
like a
that's
dog
there.
poop scooper?
Yeah. To like get in, pull it out, whatever. Like I'm like, what are we having dingleberries? Like what's going on? And then the third one is meant to just like clean.
I figured one was like a bidet, one is like a hair dryer, one's
Well, here's the reason they came up with it. I mentioned it somewhere in here, but I'll just tell you now. The writer was trying to come up with a comedic thing to be the bathroom in the future and was drawing a blank. So he called his friend, and his friend was on the toilet when he was calling him. He goes, I don't know. There's like a decorative bag of seashells in my bathroom for some reason. And he's like, that's a great idea.
That's super funny.
Yeah, and that's how the
every
seashells
bathroom
came about.
just made with 3 seashells.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wish the writer never disclosed any of it, and it was just like, what, you don't know how the seashells work?
Well, that was the joke. Was
Yeah.
supposed to be like, oh, it's
It
just
should have
the
remained that
seashells.
well,
Yeah,
yeah.
but then
It should have remained that
he
way.
probably got asked so many times that he finally got fed up and was like, fine, it's supposed to be this. Just whatever.
This
Yeah.
is how we thought of it.
Yeah. Cool. So before we get into this, if people don't know what Demolition Man is, let's do a little bit of a trailer time for them so they can see this amazing trailer.
I wouldn't blame you. I didn't know what this was
Yeah.
prior to this podcast.
I mean, this is right up there with Street Fighter. And
I'm not gonna lie. The entire time we were gonna watch this, I thought we were watching Repo Man.
Oh, no, that would have been way better.
I know.
Yeah.
And then I turned it on. I was like, wait, what?
This-
I was like, this isn't what it is.
This movie is actually what got Sandra Bullock the Speed movie.
I am so glad her acting got way better.
Well, I think she's supposed to be terribly acting in this because it's supposed to be a caricature of the future, which
Sure.
is funny that Rob Schneider showed up. But,
Yes. Hang on. Can we do their high five?
Wait, what's their high five? I don't remember.
Do you remember
it.
their high five?
No.
Okay, do you remember it? Okay. This is how they high five. They go, because, it's the future
Yeah.
and they don't have any physical contact.
Yeah.
And they, so anyways, they go like this. They go.
Nice.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. So let's move into trailer time here and see what this movie is all about.
At the end of a century, ravaged by violence, a society of perfect order will arise. Criminals will be frozen and reprogrammed in cryogenic prisons.
The prisoners are ice cubes. Their criminal instincts are being reprogrammed as they sleep.
Aggression and deviant behavior will be totally eliminated.
He's a criminal the likes of which you have never seen. In a bad time, he was the worst.
I'm gonna love running this place.
But in the year 2032,
This morning, Simon Phoenix escaped from this cryo facility. We are, quite frankly, not equipped to deal with the situation.
amidst a world of peace and calm,
We're police officers. We're not trained for this kind of violence.
How was the fiendish Simon Phoenix apprehended back in the 20th?
In the end, it took just one man, John Spartan.
You mean the Demolition Man?
The conditions of your parole are full reinstatement into the SAPD and immediate assignment to the apprehension of Simon Phoenix.
two mortal enemies
Just dropped in to say hi.
from another time
Pass is over, John. Time for something new and improved. Oh, hell.
will be unleashed on a future that isn't big enough for the both of them. Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Demolition Man.
Trailer just screams 90s.
Oh,
it's
if that doesn't make
so
you want to
90s.
watch it, then nothing else will.
Yeah.
So first off, a gripe I have with this movie.
Oh,
That-
just one?
Oh, just one. That conference table where all the screens
Yeah.
kind of turn.
Yeah.
First off, they're not turning fast enough to
No.
stay on him. Also, I noticed that like the ones in the back were being covered by the ones in the front. I'm like, how is this practical?
No,
There's
it's
no way
not.
this would be a practical thing that they would actually do.
No, yeah.
So dumb. Also, I hated at the beginning how Simon Phoenix's character specifically said, "I'd lose my head if it wasn't
Yep.
attached to my body," just so at the end of the movie
They could
could
decapitate him.
decapitate him. Like,
Yeah.
it served no purpose.
It was so on the nose.
Yeah, because
I didn't even put those two together until
but
just now.
Sylvester
yeah.
Stallone's response to that, she was like, "I'll lose my head if it
he
wasn't
goes,
on my head."
"I'll
He goes,
keep that in
"I'll
mind."
keep that in mind." Like, and then Madison even said to me, she's like, "What does that mean?" I'm like,
Yeah.
I said it means that later on in the movie, he's probably going to be killed by decapitation.
Yeah,
because
probably.
that's the only reason they put that line in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this movie came out October 8th, 1993. It had a 62% critic response, which is a passing grade on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's a
and
D minus.
Yeah, 66% audience score.
Okay.
So it doesn't have a bad score. It had a $57 million budget. And it
Okay.
made $58 million, just broke
Nice.
even pretty much. But it had a $14 million opening weekend for October back then. That's pretty good
that's not
opening
bad.
weekend,
Yeah.
honestly. There were a ton of places from LA they filmed at, like the Convention Center in Los Angeles, as well as the San Diego Convention Center. And I know this because, sadly, I work at Convention Center.
both.
So every time it popped in, I'm like, hey, that's the atrium in the LA Convention Center. Oh, hey, that's the outside of the San Diego Convention Center. And yeah, I noticed all the convention centers in this movie. The director was Marco Brambilla.
Okay.
Literally, only thing he's known for is that he did a short video for Kanye West's Power music video.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was the only movie in his directing,
Huh.
like cachet. Would that be a thing?
Repertoire?
Repertoire.
I actually
yeah.
like the Power music video.
But well, then there you go. This guy Marco Brambilla, he did it. We have Sylvester Stallone. He played the main character of John Spartan. Isn't that the Halo character's name?
He is a Spartan. It's Master Chief.
Yeah, but his
Yeah.
name is John, and he is a Spartan in Halo.
Is
'Cause
Master
court-
Chief's name
they find
John?
out. Yeah, they find out
I
that
think so. I don't
John, his John
so long since I played
1183
Halo.
or something
Oh,
like
okay.
that. Yeah.
FN 217.
FN 2187 or whatever his name is. I didn't watch that many of the.
Do you notice that this movie is essentially Breath of the Wild? Is that
Was it?
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone is put into cryosleep for a long time, and Wesley Snipes is Calamity Ganon.
You're right.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
Because it's in so many movies.
Yeah.
Is cryogenically freezing, like, are we anywhere close to this technology?
Oh, of course, yeah. Disney's head's there.
Yeah.
No, no, we're
And
not.
Hitler, too.
Yeah, and Hitler. No, actually,
Mecha Hitler.
the whole cryogenic
it's in so
sleep.
many movies.
Well, the cryogenic sleep got written into this because the writer was obsessed with the idea that Walt Disney did freeze himself.
Really?
So he wanted that to be an integral part of his movie. So you're kind of on those. I don't think we're anywhere close to it because it's in sci-fi movies too, and it's like we're flying to Pluto or wherever. It's
Right,
like
right.
just put him to sleep, no big deal. Like like
Yeah.
it's a thing where it's. I'm pretty sure the closest we are is in induced comas,
Yeah.
which is not very healthy. That's like the last resort.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're anywhere close to it. Although I love in this movie how the cryo sleep freeze thing is literally like a drop of this weird blue junk.
one
and like,
gel ball.
Yeah, and like when it hits the ground, it just freezes everything it touches.
Yeah.
It's like, I
And then
don't
you
think
get
that's how it works.
A nice slow close-up of Sylvester Stallone's ass.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I mean, come on. You got to have that.
Yeah.
Kate shaking her head. Yes. Approved.
And come Arnold as Mr. Freeze.
Yes.
Because everything's just freezing.
That would be
around.
funny if Arnold showed up there for Mr. Freeze. But we know Sylvester Stallone from Rocky, Rambo, The Expendables, Guardians of the Galaxy, and probably a bunch of other crap.
Everything else.
That he's in. We have Wesley Snipes playing the main antagonist named Simon Phoenix. He's from Blade and White Men Can't Jump. Pretty much, he doesn't have a huge depth of discography or whatever he's
But
in.
he's so recognizable.
But he's very recognizable, mostly because of Blade.
And I mean, I like Wesley Snipes. I
Yeah.
think he's like well liked.
Yeah.
I would think that.
No, I think he's a great
well liked,
actor.
I think he's great.
I just don't think he has as much stuff as I thought he was in.
Right.
When I looked it up, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, there's not as much stuff as I thought
Really,
he had.
the main thing that comes to mind is Blade.
Yeah, exactly. We have Sandra Bullock. She played Lenina Huxley. So funny
Them
here.
90s eyebrows, though.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that
totally.
Thin pencil eyebrow.
Totally. But you know what I really liked? So Sandra Bullock is from
the cybersex.
That
was
is
crazy.
That
That
was
was my favorite
That
part of the
reminded
whole
me of
movie.
Star Wars: The Holiday Special when Chewbacca's dad is like having this weird cyber sex thing going on, where like the girls singing and dancing to him and stuff. A little weird. So Sandra Bullock is in Miss Congeniality.
Is she?
Yes. But did you notice that her partner at
It's
the
the
police
same
station
guy,
is the
yeah.
partner
Yeah.
from Miss Congeniality?
Yeah, it is. It's
I
the
was
same
like,
guy.
that's so funny. But then she's also from The Blind Side, Gravity, Speed, The Proposal, and Bird Box. Is that her most recent thing?
I think
Bird
so.
Box?
Bird
Yeah.
Box? Yeah. This guy has shown up in 3 of our last 4 episodes.
Has he really?
Glenn Shaddix.
I remember that name.
Yeah, Associate Bob.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
Bob?
Associate Bob. He was like the associate
Oh, dude,
to the
he was in
main
Dunstan Checks
leader.
In.
He was in Dunstan
the
Checks
guy
In.
from Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from Beetlejuice,
Yeah,
Dunstan
the
Checks
big
In,
guy
and
with
he's a-
he's like, you need to choose one hair color.
Yeah, and he was in our Rocket Power episode as a voice too.
Oh, that's
so he
funny.
showed up in
What?
3 of our last 4 episodes. Ridiculous. And then Benjamin Bratt was in this. That's who's the guy from Mr. Congeniality,
Right.
Benjamin Bratt. We had Rob Schneider. Surprisingly, Rob Schneider had a good chunk of lines. He is uncredited in this movie.
Really?
Is he really?
He doesn't have a credit for the movie.
It was such a surprise to see him, and
Yeah,
like
it
the
was
first
so
time
bizarre.
I showed him, I went, "Is that Rob Schneider?"
Yeah, that's what I said too.
I was like, Deuce Bigelow is here. What the heck is going on right now?
He's the one who did the high five with the other guy in Miss
yes.
Congeniality.
Rob Schneider's so good. We have Bob Gunton. He played the police chief. He was the warden in Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
He was also in the Daredevil
right.
TV show and Ace Ventura 2. It drove me nuts because I knew him from somewhere, and it was Shawshank.
yeah.
And I just could not put my finger on it. We have Dennis Leary. Don't know why he's in this movie. He played Edgar Friendly. I think that they put him in this movie because of his ability to rant.
Yeah.
And that scene where he kind of his only scene where he really talks. I think they were just like, go ahead and like complain about something.
Right.
Yeah. So you know him from Rescue Me, The Amazing Spider-Man, and he was in The Sandlot. Obviously, I don't remember him being in The Sandlot. What was he in the like? Was he a kid in The Sandlot?
Was he
Was he one of the adults?
Yeah, was he the kid with the big Smalls' dad?
Maybe. I don't know.
Huh.
But Dennis Leary was supposedly in The Sandlot.
That
that
plays
makes
catch
me
with
think.
him, I think.
Maybe.
It makes me think I need to go back and rewatch this movie
don't-
now that I don't remember him being in it.
I don't think that's right. I don't know.
Anyway, Jack Black was in this movie.
What? Where?
He was one of the background wasteland people.
Was he
when
really?
they were down there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
so
funny.
random.
That's awesome.
And Jesse Ventura showed up in this one too, like in Running Man, but he really didn't have a prominent role. He was in it for maybe 2 seconds, but he got top billing.
Yeah.
He was in the beginning.
Yeah, he was
billing.
in but and I was looking for him too, and I missed him apparently.
him too.
The literally one quick shot.
what role was he?
He was in the gang, Simon Phoenix's gang.
Oh, when they were trying to steal the Taco Bell.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
Oh no. This before that. Simon Phoenix's gang.
His
Or-
gang. No, when they went down to the sewers.
Oh, okay.
Jesse Ventura was there. I thought one of them was Bill Goldberg, but it wasn't. I was like,
Oh.
is that Goldberg? And I was like, oh, no.
That would be sick if it was just a bunch of huge wrestlers.
It would have been awesome if it was just
Yeah.
all
Like,
wrestlers.
What's that movie? Longest Yard. How it had
Yeah.
Stone Cold,
Yeah.
Kevin Nash, Goldberg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, didn't The Punisher have Kevin Nash in it? Or Was that Blade?
No, that wasn't Kevin Nash. That was
What was Kevin Nash in?
No, Blade Trinity at Triple H.
Yeah, but didn't Kevin Nash was in Blade 2 or something like that? Anyway, had you guys ever watched this movie before?
No.
So I thought I had.
Yes.
But I was thinking of Repo Man.
Yeah.
I had never even heard of it.
So I had watched this movie a long time ago. Not when it was out or anything, but like 2012.
So you were a kid.
No, like 2012. So like
okay.
I guess not that long ago, like 7 years ago. I liked it when I watched it then, which is why I was okay it won our poll. I don't know how it won our poll,
I don't know
honestly.
how it won either.
How did you people vote for this thing?
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I'm very glad you guys voted for this. I had a blast watching this movie. I thought it was fun.
It was a fun movie. Now, let's move into our next question. What were your likes about it? What did you like? Give me a like.
I liked that really weird experimental sex scene with the helmets.
Yes, that was
I
fun.
thought that was crazy and cool and was really jarring, and it didn't fit the movie at all, and it's kind of why I liked it.
Well, it kind of did because they
I understand
outlawed so much stuff.
I understand the way to not exchange bodily fluids, but just the style of that.
Oh, where it was like super flashy
and aggressive,
and
the sound design was so different from anything else.
That's true. That's true.
I liked that. I liked the seashell toilet thing.
Yes, that was funny.
And then the rest of it, I thought it was a prototypical action film.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Joe, what did you like?
I liked their depiction of this style of future, like what the future was.
I put that as one of my likes because our biggest complaint about Running Man was so the future is just 80s technology that's like a little that's voice activated,
and this was completely different.
Yeah, they did a lot of imagining. Like they had iPads pretty much.
Yeah.
Like
they basically had cars that drive itself.
Yes, exactly. I thought it was those cars that they made were actually specifically made by I forget which company made it. But they did it as a future concept car for them to use because they were actually trying to push the whole idea of the
future
car with the door and self-driving and like the steering wheel coming in and out and everything.
Claire called them butterfly cars.
Butterfly cars. 'Cause they do. Aren't they called butterfly? No, they're called. No, those aren't suicide doors.
Suicide are open from the middle.
Are those butterfly doors? I feel like that's what they're called. They're butterfly doors. Yeah.
Gull wing doors. They're basically they're all kind of like that.
Yeah. So it was. What else did you like?
Yeah, I like that because there's a lot to it. But I loved how you were just kind of thrown into the future without knowing anything about like what the new changes and everything were. Just kind of like Sylvester Stallone's character.
Yeah.
And how he just keeps swearing to get more paper so he can wipe his butt.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was really
good.
funny.
I think they did a good job with the comedy in this for sure. I felt like they did a good job with satire as well in this, especially with some of the lines where it was like, oh, Taco Bell, every restaurant's a Taco Bell.
The franchise wars.
Yeah, the franchise wars and stuff. I thought they did a good job with that where they were being tongue-in-cheek about it.
Except that he called Taco Bell Mexican food.
Yeah, he did call it Mexican food.
Well, technically it's Mexican fast food.
I like Mexican food.
Taco Bell did start with a Mexican guy in a cart making tacos. So, I mean,
That's how it
origins.
Started?
Yeah, its origins are there.
That's definitely how it started.
That's how it started. Not there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about dislikes?
One-liners, man.
Yeah.
I'm so glad current movies are gone away from the one-liner thing.
I don't know. You know what? So I watched Mission Impossible 3 the other day, which I remember loving that movie, right?
Yeah, we saw it in theaters.
We did see it in theaters, and then that was the funny part where it was all quiet, and she's like pumping his chest to try and get him alive, and then the guy sitting next to us is like, what did he say?
He was like, dude, check out her boobs.
Yeah.
Because she was like all sweaty and like... And
it's slow-mo while she's trying to like give him, like pump his chest to get him alive again. And then it got real quiet and dramatic, and someone in the theater went...
Oh god.
Yeah. Anyway, so I rewatched Mission Impossible 3, and he runs up this wall and like gets to the top of the wall, and he turns over, looks right at the camera, and goes, "Humpty Dumpty ran up the wall." And I'm
no
like,
way.
I don't remember this movie having one-liners that are literally talking to the camera. It was the most out of sequence thing because the rest of the movie doesn't do it. It's just this. They threw in this one-liner where he's acknowledging that the camera is there. It's very weird.
Could you imagine if the MCU had one-liners?
It would be atrocious.
They kind of do.
Kind of.
They have one-liners sometimes.
They have like adapted one-liners.
Yeah.
At least they're still contextual.
Especially in like the Iron Man franchise movies. Like the villains for some reason seem to always have a one-liner or something. Like, yeah. One-liners was bad. Cam, what was something you disliked?
I don't like action movies. It's just like to me they're just amygdala films, right? It's just like,
what does that mean for the audience at home that may not know what that means? Because we totally know what that means.
Over the top.
No, an amygdala is the part of your brain that fires when it's just sex and violence. It's like your primitive
the
brain.
medulla oblongata.
Yeah.
Medulla oblongata.
It's the part of the brain that used to prioritize your function prior to your prefrontal cortex developing.
Okay.
And so it's also called like your reptilian brain, and that's where teenage boys mostly fire from.
Okay.
Is their amygdala. And
not from somewhere a little bit down south.
No. Well, it's the same. Like that's the thing that
it's all connected.
That's the part of your brain that gives you a boner.
Your spine is literally just there to connect your dick to whatever you say.
Your amygdala.
Yeah.
I mean, they essentially say the same thing even in the movie. They're like, well, there's a documented correlation between sex and violence.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. And there was that. I'm tired. I don't really care about movies that are like bang, bang, explodey, bang, bang, fast, bang.
So Michael Bay is not in your top 5.
No.
I like action movies.
I like action movies too because you can just turn your brain off.
That's why I hate it.
Yeah.
It's just a distraction.
You get to operate on the filter feeder
You're
part.
also a filmmaker in the sense that you write things, and so you're finding all those flaws.
Yeah.
Where I think Joe and I can kind of turn that off because we're not so caught up on that. We can be like, yeah, I know there's a lot of plot holes and things that don't make sense, but hey,
it doesn't matter because I'm having fun.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I had fun a couple of times. Like a lot of the science fiction world was really cool.
Yeah.
And
how
I
they
love
built
sci-fi.
on top of LA too.
Downtown, yeah.
And I liked how they said the 2010, the big earthquake.
Yeah, the big one.
Yeah.
In the big earthquake, yeah. You know what's funny? On your note, because this was, very action, there's no real artisticness to this. Immediately after watching this movie, I watched the Grand Budapest Hotel again, and I went, man, this thing is just a masterpiece. It is just an artistic masterpiece. Wes Anderson is a genius.
Yeah.
But it's just like the two complete opposites of the
Sides of the
spectrum.
spectrum. Totally.
Super opposite spectrum.
Yeah, you went from bang, bang, explodey in your face to like subtle quips and very stylized.
See, I've never
filmmaking.
gotten into Wes Anderson movies.
Really?
I've tried Moonrise Kingdom.
Great movie.
Did he do the Fox one too?
Yeah.
I tried all those and I couldn't do it. But anyway, my dislikes were all the fake fires.
Yeah.
The CGI fires were awful.
The CGI lightning again?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
They did do the CGI at the end. Yes.
I forgot about that because I was going to make a comment. I was like, you guys all love smokeless fires, right?
Yeah, right?
Because when there's fire, there's no smoke.
There's no smoke. No smoke. And also, I hate in 80s and 90s movies where you never get to see the aftermath. Yeah. So, it ends with, the guy kissing the girl, the bad guy being killed, and they kind of implied that Dennis Leary's character, who we've never seen and has no real experience on ruling anything,
it's just the leader.
Is going to take over. I'm like, this society is just going to go to crap.
It really is.
Yeah. It's like in the end of The Running Man. I'm like, you realize you just wrecked society. It's the same thing in this one. I'm like, you realize you just wrecked society.
You got to rebuild.
So did this wreck the 90s for you?
No, because it felt like really just in line with the 90s.
I thought so too.
I agree.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it wrecked it, but it was definitely made in the 90s.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
There's a lot of Frozen stuff.
Yeah, let it go.
That's exactly what I thought.
And also, speaking of Frozen things, I have one of our Wreck My Taste Buds we got to do soon is the kids' cuisines I have.
Beautiful.
2 of them in my freezer. Bought them specifically so we could look at that cute little penguin while we eat terrible
Our stomachs
food.
are going to hurt so bad.
They are. My stomach's been hurting for the past 4 days. I don't know what's wrong with me. But I do know what we're doing next. Oh, yes. It's time for Jordan to explain the movie quickly. All right, guys. If you like Austin Powers but wish it was less of a comedy and more of a serious R-rated 90s film, this is the film for you. This was pretty much an Austin Powers. Cryogenically frozen. The good guy has to go in, comes out at the end, has to follow the bad guy. Tries to take over, but doesn't actually fit in. Like fish out of water story.
Totally.
Yeah. All right. Now let's get into our plot breakdown. Let's get ready to break it down. This is the plot breakdown. Cam, you look disgusted with the Bronco.
There's just
Boyers
so many
game over there.
penalties.
So we're going to talk about the plot of this movie. All right, let's go through this here, guys. We meet our main bad guy and main good guy in 1996. Spartan is going after Phoenix to save some bus hostages. He doesn't know Phoenix... Wait. Oh, I put a note here. Doesn't Phoenix know not to wear stripes and checkers together?
No, he doesn't.
I mean, I know it was the 90s, but come on.
I have an issue with that beginning scene,
Tell
too.
me.
So you see like the tracking like bullets like in the air going all over the place?
Yes.
My question, are they trying to shoot the helicopter? Because the helicopter is sitting perfectly still and nothing is...
Joe is so angry. He had to throw his
everything
mic.
was going like around them. Was like, are these stormtroopers
Look,
working?
yeah.
Or what?
No, this is what I call classic 007 bad guys. It's when there's 1,000 Russians or Germans or whatever, and no one can hit him.
Yeah. And they all have freaking machine guns.
Yeah.
He has a pistol.
Yeah, this is classic James Bond shooting.
All you have to do is this. And one of them will get you.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I'm like, I always wanted a James Bond movie where you just see one dude who's like, you know what? I'm going to take a second and aim.
Yeah.
And hit him.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
It's like when you see the video of someone who shoots like a machine gun for the first time and it just goes...
Yeah,
they
totally.
fall backwards.
That's 100% what this is.
That's what it is. So we find out Spartan's recklessness makes everything... makes everyone think that he killed the hostages when they'd already been dead, actually. So both
Were they, though? Or did they die in the explosion?
No. It's because we're supposed to think they died in the explosion, but Phoenix says later in a scene where he's like, the funny thing is, I already killed all of them, so you went away for nothing.
So, yeah, no heat signature at all, but they were
because that's what he says at the beginning. It's like, we ran the heat signature, and there aren't any bodies here.
Yeah.
But Phoenix said... oh, you were too quick. It's because I like covered him in something, or
right.
like Phoenix specifically did it to get Spartan to go away to jail.
Yeah,
because he's just crazy. So Spartan's supposed to go away for 70 years in a cryo prison. So we fast forward to 2032, where the world has become this utopian future that's pretty much the future we see in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Totally,
that's pretty much it. Be well.
The fashion was designed by the Empire.
Yeah, it was like weird. Why is it that future is supposed to be like robes and stuff and like, you know what too?
Because you're constantly relaxed.
That, and also like Michael Jackson music video for the police department.
Yeah,
like,
sick.
What is that? Like, it's so weird.
There were a lot of really funny lines about that police department though, where they were like violent behavior. We're the police. We're not prepared for this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So weird.
We're not trained for this.
Or like how heinous graffiti was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so in the future, I guess everything bad has been outlawed. So cussing, alcohol, salt, all has been outlawed.
Yeah.
Meat.
Meat
Here's the problem. Salt cannot be outlawed because you need at least a little bit of salt to live. So I'm not quite sure how they're saying that they can get rid of all salt, but whatever. Splitting hairs, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is probably outlawed in the future.
You can't even swear.
No, you can't
You
swear.
can't see hell.
No, not even hell.
I would get fined so much.
Yeah, it's true. What did your student say? That's one ugly piece of hell.
You ugly piece of hell.
You ugly piece of hell.
You ugly piece of hell. Come at us.
Yeah, you would get fined in the future for that line. So we meet Lenina Huxley, who is a police officer in the police department that doesn't do anything anymore because everyone is compliant and obeys.
Yeah.
But she does collect 90s things, so she's pretty much us.
Yeah. She has her own podcast.
Yeah, right? And
she has
wants...
like a Lethal Weapon poster like in
yeah,
her
I know.
That's
It's
right.
so funny.
Yeah.
The
You
time
can't
to
even
eat neon.
Yeah.
You can't even watch Lethal Weapon, though, because I'm too old for this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I guess they'd have to edit it in the
Yeah.
future.
I like that all the oldie station is just commercials on the radio.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I like that.
Or the music they listen to were like kids' music.
Well, no, the music
most
was
popular
only
Kid friendly or
commercial
family
stuff too.
Yeah,
like
it was
everything
all
was
commercials.
commercials.
Oh, yeah.
TV and radio, which is all commercial jingles.
Yeah, the one that came on the radio was like their favorite was about kids, how much they like hot dogs.
Yeah, that's right.
Armory
Yeah.
hot dogs or
Yeah,
something
and
like
then
that.
they sang the Jolly Green Giant song like with like a piano accompaniment.
Which the hot dog one is actually a real hot dog commercial from the 60s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we get introduced to not Los Angeles, but San Angeles.
Right.
Which
it was they say it's San Diego, Santa Barbara, and Los Angeles all put together.
Yeah.
San Angeles.
But
whole
where
county.
they would have been
Where
what he
downtown
knows
Los
downtown
Angeles.
Los Angeles would have been.
But see, it should have been San Bernardino Angeles.
It should have. rolls right off the tongue. San
Bernardino Angeles gets all of them right in there. So it was built on top of the wastelands of downtown Los Angeles. They still have a rebellious group living in the sewers of what was
This is back
Los
to back
Angeles.
weeks of a rebellious underground.
Yes, I like it.
And they were actually underground.
They were actually
underground.
Yeah.
What were they referred to in this movie, though? They were like the scrum or scrim. I don't know.
It was the wasteland. They were the scraps.
Scraps. That's what it was.
Yeah, because they scavenged for scraps,
Yeah.
which I liked when they actually went down there and Sylvester Stallone got a burger.
Yeah.
And she's like, why don't you ask where the meat came from? He's like, what do you mean? He's like, do you see any cows around here?
La carne de la rata.
De la rata.
Yeah.
And he was like, best rat I ever had.
So
good burger.
The new utopian society was created by Dr. Raymond Cocteau.
Yeah.
He has a Cocteau, who created the cryo-freeze prison and is now the leader. Although, as with every utopian leader, we find out there's more than meets the eye there.
I wonder if he's corrupt and has an agenda.
Possibly.
Yeah.
So Phoenix escapes during his parole hearing. Now, if they're able, they say they're able to readjust them. What term do they use?
Like rehabilitate.
Rehabilitate their brains.
Yeah.
No one seems to be rehabilitated
So
in this movie.
with him, he wasn't rehabilitated.
Oh, because they're too early.
No. His rehabilitation code, they programmed him when they looked up his rehabilitation progress in the car when she had to use her police codes to dive in or whatever. Is that he was given the ability of martial arts, terrorist tactics, all this stuff.
And they gave him all the knowledge of using their computer systems and everything already.
Because when he came out, so here's the
Espionage.
thing I had. The reason he was able to escape is because he knew the password to his cuffs. Why are cuffs something that are voice activated?
Yeah.
That seems like an oversight.
Teddy bear.
Yeah, teddy bear. What?
Yeah.
It just seemed like a dumb thing to have. So Phoenix goes on the run. The police have to literally YouTube how to apprehend a criminal.
Yeah, they do. And it's really funny. They're watching this tutorial.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, lie down and put your hands behind your back, while watching the video. And Wesley Snipes is like, whatever.
Yeah, and then when he's like, he's not listening, the YouTube video goes, speak with more forceful tone.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous.
And try saying, or else.
Or else. Yeah. So funny. We have the police realize that they need an old-fashioned police officer to track Phoenix down.
Actually, one more thing that I just remembered. Something that also bugged me was that they referred to his crimes as MDKs, murder, death, kills.
Yeah.
Yeah, which are all
They're
the same
all the
thing.
same thing.
Yeah. Murder, death, kills.
Murder, death, kills.
It was really funny because when it was 187,
They're like,
or whatever,
"What's
and they're like, what's that? And Clara's doing her homework from across the room, right? Like law school Clara, and she just goes, homicide in California. And I was just like, oh, no, well, I guess that's the real thing.
Well, and did you notice, too, that their Alexa or whatever the voice computer thing is called L7?
Yeah.
And it's a square.
Yeah.
Like, that was kind of cool.
It is cool.
Yeah,
That's
because
very,
there was a reason there, and I don't remember the reason. It was something having to do with computers and squares and something like that. Anyway, the app Square where you take credit cards. This week sponsored by Square. So the police unfreeze. They thaw out Spartan. They throw him in the sink for 24 hours, and they thaw him out.
Because they have to figure out if they're going to catch a criminal from the 90s, they
gotta
need
use
a cop from
yeah,
the 90s.
Exactly. A loose cannon cop. So we have the seashells introduced. We've talked at length about the seashells. We talked about the radio having commercial jingles. Jingos.
We're talking all about that Jingo Jango.
Did you guys notice that every time Wesley Snipes was doing some type of action thing, it was like this weird 90s rap beat going on? I was like I'm like,
I didn't even notice that.
Oh my gosh, it was the weirdest music for that.
It sounded like someone was playing a Bop It.
Yeah, kind of actually. Yeah.
Bop it.
But like one that was broken.
Twist
Yeah,
it.
like a broken Bop It.
Yeah, a broken Bop It. Broke Bop It. So John uses, I love this moment here. Spartan, I'm just going to call him Spartan from now on. Spartan and Phoenix have a fight in a museum.
Right. Yeah.
And he uses a freaking CRTV as a weapon.
Like
he's throwing it.
You're on TV.
Yeah, and just smacks him with it. I love that moment. That was so good. This is where we find out Cocteau is the one who reprogrammed Phoenix.
Right, because Phoenix can't shoot him.
Right. And so
And it's to get rid of all the scraps.
Yes. Well, we don't know quite yet, but that's kind of like we know that it's to kill someone, and we can assume it's the leader of the scraps.
To kill whatever Friendly.
Yeah, Friendly was like the one, and Cocteau was talking about how Friendly was an annoyance, and they were like, well, just leave him be. It's not that big a deal, but Cocteau is like a totalitarian and wants to have full control.
Yeah.
So...
And wants to make sure people can't eat.
That too. Yeah, well, it was kind of like fall in line with My Society or Good Luck Living kind of thing. You know, he wanted to wipe them out. We next learn about the Schwarzenegger Presidential Library.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
Well, hilarious too, because this was well before Schwarzenegger even had an inkling about running for governor.
I wonder if this is the movie that gave him the idea.
Maybe
it was pre-gubernatorial election.
Yeah. That's another weird word. And then we find out all the restaurants are Taco Bells, so there's obviously a lot of diarrhea in the future.
Which I am stoked about because those little small plate Taco Bell things look delicious.
Yeah.
Although it was funny because like you could tell that Sylvester Stallone had the same thought all of us had, is that when he went to Taco Bell and then they give you this little thing, it's like, where's my bean and cheese burrito? Where's my Crunchwrap Supreme? What's going on?
Yeah, didn't he like, it was a really small portion. He was like, good thing I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just recently had a triple-decker Crunchwrap Supreme. Hot damn.
Oh man, I want that so.
That sounds so good.
So bad. So we also next we learn about virtual reality sex. Cool.
Yeah,
we talked about that.
That was my favorite part. It was crazy and weird and experimental and so bizarre.
If it's virtual reality and like in your brain, why does she get in like a sexy dress nightgown thing?
Because it was to like lead us up to think that like they were gonna do it and then pull that joke.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to wear something constricting.
Well, for a dude, yeah. I mean, I don't know what. Okay. So Spartan Spartan actually figures out that Cocteau is behind the Phoenix escape and everything pretty early on, like halfway through the movie.
Because
so
he gets
now
the footage of the museum where he sees them communicating.
So now he goes underground to find Phoenix because that's where Phoenix went. So Phoenix has a gang now, and they go down to the underground, but they decide to just leave and go back up and kill Cocteau instead and take over the society, I guess. So Cocteau was killed mostly because of his arrogance that he could control everything, even the bad guys. He had the huge oversight of forgetting to program the bad guys that he's giving to Phoenix not to be able to kill him either.
Right.
So, you know, that was kind of dumb on his part. And then we have the underground decides to help Spartan, so they come up, but don't really do anything.
No, they just
kind of come up and be like, we got your back.
Yeah,
now go do it. Yeah, it was dumb.
Yeah.
Like this whole
I don't
movie.
have guns or anything, so.
Well, the problem was this whole movie had about like an hour of footage cut out of it because there was supposed to be a whole other subplot and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So if you thought this movie was ridiculous to begin with, there was a lot of this movie cut out, and it just didn't. The whole idea of the underground didn't work. You know, it just felt like a weird tacked on thing that should have never been there.
Right.
So Phoenix goes to the cryo prison to defrost all the bad guys and bring chaos back to the world. So this is, of course, going to be the climactic battle scene in the cryo prison. So Spartan goes there, but he gets caught by the White Claw. No, not the seltzer.
Dang it.
The big White Claw.
Yeah.
What flavor do you think it was?
That was black cherry totally.
Black-
it's the
black
only one
cherry
that's
White
worth
Claw.
its weight in salt.
Yeah.
So like
they don't have salt.
I know it's illegal.
Oh, yeah.
It's weight in it. It's a black market item. There was a big point of contention is like he's stuck inside that White Claw, and like Snipes has a gun
And can't hit him.
and even stops for a while.
Well, the gun jams up, but then he tries to use the pulse gun or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so am I to believe that a pulse gun, because a pulse gun is supposed to have a wide range.
Yeah.
It's like shooting a shotgun shell.
Yeah.
It's like it's a spread.
Yeah.
So how are you missing him with your stupid pulse gun?
Because he had a magic beret that stayed on his head no matter how much action he did.
That's true. He was Guile from Street Fighter.
He was
pretty much Guile. So we have a Sub-Zero fatality here. And then the random line about losing your head finally makes sense.
Yeah.
And it ends with Friendly becoming the new leader, but and then Kiss end. I hate how these movies end. I just hate it.
I hate Kiss End action movies. Yeah.
Kiss End, yeah, it's very stinky. So guys, I have a lot of fun facts about
All right,
this.
I'm in.
Nice.
A ton. ton of fun facts. So,
fun facts.
Would you guys believe that Jean-Claude Van Damme was offered the role before Sylvester Stallone?
Oh my God, amazing!
It would have totally been a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
This was pretty much Time Cop.
Time Cop 2.
Yeah. This is pretty much it. Did Time Cop come out before or after this? I don't remember. 90 because this was 93. Yeah, look up what Time Cop was. Dennis Rodman's dyed hair was credited to Phoenix in this movie.
Really?
Like he actually said he got the idea
from Dennis Rodman.
No.
Oh,
Dennis Rodman said he got the idea from Wesley Snipes in this movie.
Time Cop came out in 94.
So maybe that's why Jean-Claude Van Damme was like, well, I have these two scripts that are very similar.
I'm gonna
go with Time Cop, which Time Cop I would argue say has more name recognition than Demolition Man does.
Right.
So if you're looking at if did he make the right choice. Yeah, but it was also Time Cop.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not really winning there. So, you guys love the movie at the end, the credits that Sting did, Demolition Man?
Yes, those lyrics were terrible.
Did you guys know that Sting wrote Demolition Man in 1981, though?
Did he really?
It was a song on an EP called Demolition Man, and then he just reworked it to fit for the movie in 1993.
Interesting.
Well, that's bizarre.
I had no clue that he wrote that song over a decade before this movie came out.
Yeah, that's insane.
Sylvester Stallone wanted Jackie Chan to play Phoenix, but Jackie Chan turned it down because he didn't want the villain to be portrayed as a Chinese character.
Way to go, Jackie.
True.
Yeah, good job.
So we just went with a black guy.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It was black guy in L.A. It was kind of going on already in 93.
Yeah.
So the Taco Bell references were actually changed to Pizza Hut for the European versions because no one in Europe knew what Taco Bell was.
Interesting.
That's hilarious.
But they knew what Pizza Hut was. And you know what's funny is now you can find a Pizza Hut with a Taco Bell in it.
Yeah, you can.
It's so ridiculous. The Schwarzenegger joke was 10 years before he became governor.
Right.
There was originally a subplot about Spartan's daughter, which he has a line in there about his daughter. Yeah. Which was completely cut from the movie in post-production. So if you notice when they're fighting in the underground, that random girl that he like grabs and protects in the sewers, that's his daughter.
Oh.
That's why he's so protective of this random girl down there. It's because they cut everything out with reference to her, but that scene stayed in it.
It's really just him asking about them when he gets out of cryo.
Yeah, and then and he's like, well, maybe no one see me right now. I don't know what that voice was, but
she died in the Great Earthquake.
Yeah. In Kuwait, the movie was called Rambo the Destroyer to hopefully draw people in for Sylvester Stallone's popularity as Rambo.
Nice.
Really?
Yep, the movie's called Rambo the Destroyer.
Did they change his character's name to Rambo too?
No.
Weird.
Weird. Nope. Yep. Just called it that.
I liked a little bit, kind of liked. Don't know if I liked it or hated it when Wesley Snipes grabbed that gun from the museum and was like, "Thanks, Rambo."
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of on the nose.
Yeah.
Though we did find out with that gun that they have figured out fusion.
They have. Yeah, they figured it out.
Doc Brown is turning over in his grave. So Wesley Snipes, he's a black belt. If you didn't know that.
Yeah, I know that.
He had to slow down his kicks and punches because they were so fast that the cameras couldn't catch it cleanly in full motion.
Like full Bruce Lee style?
Yeah, it was blurring, so they had to have him slow it down, which is why if you notice he does he's very over dramatic about everything because he's having to slow it down.
I didn't even know he was an actual black belt.
Yeah. They had to do the same thing with Bruce Lee in the in movies. He had to do everything slower.
I thought that Bruce Lee just got beat up by Brad Pitt in the movies.
Allegedly. I didn't see the movie yet.
Yeah, I just saw that one scene online about it.
And people were like,
people are so upset about it.
Tarantino was like, it's a movie.
Well, I don't know oh, darn it. I don't know.
Cameron Molitor, you are fined 1 credit.
I don't know the context of what that scene was in the movie or whatever, but yeah, this isn't the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood podcast. This is the Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s when we were allowed to be racist.
Yeah.
So the dress that Sandra Bullock wears in the Taco Bell scene.
That like big, giant plastic rhinestone dress?
It's actually real diamonds and stones. It weighed 40 pounds.
Holy crap.
Which is why when you see her trying to run, she can't run real fast, and then when it ripped when she tried to run. So if you notice at the end of the scene, she's holding her arms down like this to keep it up for the finish of the scene. Like, it's a 40-pound freaking dress.
Why did they pay for that dress in the movie?
I have no idea.
When you could make a fake one for a nickel.
Because Vera Wang really wanted to be a part of this movie, and I said that just because I wanted to say the word Wang.
Nice.
That was half the movie budget, that dress.
Seriously, though. So I already mentioned the seashells came up because of him calling his friend on the can, and he was like, I don't know, a bag of seashells are in my bathroom right now. Because of all the cuts, the fight scene between Sylvester Stallone and Jesse Ventura was cut. Okay. So, which is why he got top billing,
right.
but
you barely saw him there.
Yeah. Dennis Leary's part was rewritten after he was cast because they wanted to let him go on a rant, so that's why they did have him in there. In the novelization, the novelization of Demolition Man, which is a thing. It's told that Cocteau had associate Bob castrated to keep him from being too ambitious.
Oh, really? So he was like an actual eunuch.
Yeah, he was a eunuch. Yeah. In an early scene set after the first murder-death kill, the name Scott Peterson is listed as one of the cryo prisoners. Okay. The name appears listed before Simon Phoenix on a computer display, which the character Lenina Huxley has called to the screen. This is merely a coincidence, however, as Scott Peterson was not a public figure until he was tried for the murder of his wife during 2004-2005. The surname of the other inmate on the screen is Quentin. Peterson is serving his time in San Quentin. So there's some weird kind of future stuff. That's a weird coincidence that Scott Peterson and Quentin was on there. Yeah. And I actually heard that in all the re-edited versions of this movie for TV, they changed the Scott Peterson name so it didn't seem like there was some weird conspiracy going on and everything, which kind of makes sense, I guess. Right. They changed a few other things for the movie. What was it? There were one or two scenes where they were like, oh, we have to take that one violent part out because that's too much, and I forget what it was.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, there was like one scene in the movie specifically that they had to take out to make it okay for TV, and I can't remember what scene it was. Probably something to do with the seashells. So
knocking his head off?
Well, that one actually I think stayed in because, I mean, that's pretty...
Yeah.
It's not very gross or anything.
Yeah, he's frozen. He's fine.
He's frozen. Yeah, that's the movie. That's Demolition Man. We really demolished that episode.
Yeah, we did. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah!
That's the show.
That's the show. So there's an Instagram and Twitter. We're at Wreck My Podcast. We have an email, wreckmypodcast@gmail.com. Ratings and reviews are appreciated. And subscribe to stuff, too. That's great. I'm terrible at doing plugs because I just hate doing plugs. If you want to support us and get some fun rewards, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/WreckMyPodcast. We have some ways you can financially support us as well with our Amazon link and get a shirt or a sticker or a tote bag or a shower curtain. Or, hey, you want Krager's face on your duvet? There you go.
It's possible.
You know what? We should get a Krager bidet.
Oh, that'd be nice. 3 Krager seashells.
Yeah, 3 Krager seashells.
You know what's cool about that Amazon link?
What's cool about it?
Is it doesn't cost you anything extra. You buy whatever you want on Amazon like normal, and it doesn't add anything to the price.
Wait, really?
That is 100%
isn't that pretty
accurate.
cool?
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. You know what? Screw the man. Screw Jeff Bezos. Take some of his money and give it to us.
What's wrong with Becky Lynch?
Oh, yeah. No, she's great. As of recording, the show starts in 30 minutes.
Nice.
Clash of Champions. We're going to see whether or not Becky Lynch can retain her championship against Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
What do you think, guys? You think Sasha's going to take it, or you think Becky? I think Becky's going to keep it. I think Becky and I think Bayley's going to lose hers to Charlotte, and then I think that Sasha and Bayley are going to get the women's championships at the next pay-per-view from Alexa and Nikki. People are saying, though, that Randy Orton may win that title from Kofi. I don't know how to feel about that.
I don't either, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right.
Kofi's had it for a long time.
Yeah, but don't have him lose it to Randy Orton.
Yeah, I'm tired of it.
Of all people, Randy Orton. Ugh. Okay. Thank you to Ben from Petrified Gumbo Music for making some of our amazing songs. If you have a podcast or show that you need a composition for, hit him up at petrifiedgumbomusic.com. This last Monday, we had an episode called Around a Round Table. It was a lot of fun. We ate chips on it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so go check that out. Also, this last Sunday, I was on the Brew interviews.
Oh, cool.
So go listen to that. That's a good episode. Check out next week where we're going to be either talking about Encino Man or Rocket Man or possibly a double feature.
Oh.
So we might do both. Check back next week to see what that is. Watch it next week. It's actually just like something completely random and different. Creep. Thank you to my guests for being here.
You're welcome.
No problem.
And finally, thank you to our listeners. I love getting wrecked with you.
Bye. I love you.
I like and I love you all.
Hey, it's me, Krager. I didn't show up again. I don't care about this podcast or my friends. Wreck my podcast. Wreck my podcast. You watching the Bronco game?
Yeah.
It was 3-3 last time I checked.
It's 6-3 on my way here, but Denver's driving.
Do you want to be on it?
No, I didn't bring mine.
I saw the first half because I fell asleep.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Did you guys look up that movie Creep I told you about last night?
I did.
Not yet.
Oh, Creep. Have you seen Creep?
Oh my god, it's really fucking weird.
Yeah, I haven't watched the second one yet. So Madison and I watched Creep last night, and it was weird because it's Mark Duplass. So I'm like,
I don't like him.
well, here's the thing. I love him in The League. So I was kind of taken out of it, but he does a good job of kind of playing the character well. And there's only 2 people in the whole movie. Yep. And I liked it because at first I was like, this is going to be a dumb movie. Like, I'm calling everything. But then they kind of like switch things up a little bit and move a few things around. And then they leave the location. And I'm like, okay, they did a good job. It's not good replayability value, but the ending was good. And I like, too, that he got a little meta at the end because he like is commentating on himself and stuff. Oh, it was a good movie. And it's only like an hour and 10 minutes. So it like took
you
no
said it's
time.
on Netflix, right?
Yeah. Both of them are on Netflix. I'm going to watch the second one tonight, probably.
Did you see the
Yeah.
other Mark Duplass movie that he directed with, what's her name? The girl from Parks and Rec that is...
Aubrey Plaza?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I didn't even know he directed a movie that she was in.
Yeah, he directed it and starred in it, and it's I can't remember what it's called, but it's like this weird. It has like a weird sci-fi twist at the end.
Well, hang on.
He like
Child's Play.
No, he has like a fake ear in it. Does
Mike
that ring
and Dave need wedding dates.
yeah, it's that one.
You know what's funny? For Mark Duplass being kind of pigeonholed as a comedic actor, he does a lot of dramatic stuff.
Yeah, he's a pretty decent dramatic
Like he's
actor.
going to be in the morning show on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was in a horror film like this, which was kind of cool. Yeah, he just kind of shows up.
Yeah.
And what's great about the movie too is nothing crazy really. Like, because I watched Your Next on Friday, and Your Next is pretty violent. Like, there's a good bit of gore in it, and like freaking blender on the head and stuff. Like, it's pretty violent. This one wasn't violent; it was just unsettling. The whole movie was just unsettling.
Did you end up watching?
I haven't watched any of the movies you gave me yet.
Oh,
we were really on a horror kick right now, so we were like watching.
There's some horror movies in
just
there.
Brightburn.
No, there isn't.
What's the other horror movie?
There's the second Strangers movie in there.
Oh, I forgot that was on there.
The Strangers, it's something of Prey or something like that.
Pray at Night or
Pray at
something
Night.
like that. Yeah, why didn't we watch that? I forgot that one was on there.
I'm trying to think if I put any other ones. I don't think I did.
Because I was like, well, we can watch Brightburn, but Madison didn't really care for that one. And I was like, I kind of already had it all spoiled for me because I listened to a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to see this, so I'm just going to listen to them. And they explained the whole movie. So I'm kind of like, if you don't want to watch it, I'm not going to really watch it right now. Like, I'll wait till she wants to watch it since I already know what's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, I forgot we had Strangers. Dang it. That would have been a good one to watch.
I know.
Maybe
I still
tonight,
haven't even
then.
seen it yet.
Maybe tonight. Although Your Next seems a lot like The Strangers Pray at Night to me. It seemed like it was kind of a similar concept to it. But so I'm trying really hard right now. I turned our mics down a little bit, if you could tell.
Yeah, I noticed I was a little quiet.
I'm trying to have it be a tad bit quieter because I bring the file over and like the whole thing is just in yellow. Because and I have to turn it all the way down and then everything. So I'm like, I'm just gonna turn us down, and hopefully that'll be good.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You could always raise it.
Exactly. I'd rather
you
raise
have
it
to.
than have to lower it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Fix
cool.
it in post.
Fix it in post. Yeah.
Fix it.
We'll just start the episode then.
Let's do it.
Be well, fellow patrons. Or no, you're not patrons. So let me start that over. Wreck my podcast.